Hello, everybody, and welcome to The Hunted Podcast with myself, AJ Cox. Next to me, as always, we got Chris Donovan, Brett Curry, and Levi Mason. If you want to see what we're up to, go follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. You can go through and find us on all those just by typing in The Hunted Podcast. If you go through there, you can see that we got some stickers, hats, tumblers, koozies, and all that for sale. So if you want to put something online, we'll go through, do our best, get them to you and everything. But we got a limited supply with that. Or if you see us out and about and you want to be the coolest person that you know, go through and get a hold of us, and we'll get you hooked up with some stickers, hats, koozies, and all that good stuff. And then here, before too long, we're going to try to go through and take some pre-orders so we can get some sweatshirts out because fall is right around the corner. So like I said, go through and contact us. We'll get you on the list and get you ready to go come fall. All right, so this is the part where we're going to go through. We always do, and we say do our way of saying thank you for first responders and military. We do a little moment of silence for them. If you go through and you want to say a special thanks to, mom, dad, cousin, brother, sister, neighbor, whomever, let us know. Type up a little ditty or tell us about it and say, hey, we'll even take it if it was like, dude, my grandfather fought in World War II. That son of a bitch was a badass. He went over and he, did this and that and everything, and it was just, we greatly appreciate anything and everything these people do. We want to go through and say thank you for all that. So right now we're just going to go through and do our way of saying thank you for the people that were in the military or first responders and have sadly passed. So we just do a small moment of silence, which we're going to do now, like I said, as it's our way of saying thank you to them. All right. Perfect. One more time, if you're a first responder, military, anything like that, or have a family member that does all that stuff, you understand how crazy those people's lives are. And not only do we want to say thank you to the people that are out doing it, but also the people that are home, manning down the household and keeping all that good stuff while things are going on. So I just want to, before we get too far into this, I want to go through and get some of our sponsors knocked out of the way. First off, we got Rec Broadheads with Matt. Go through, make sure you go check out, see what he's got going on Facebook, Instagram. Definitely, we strongly recommend going through and getting some of his broadheads. He's got some 4 blades fixed. He's got some expandables. He's got some expandables. He's got some 2-blade fixed. There's ways you can interchange the 2-blade fix to the expandable fix. And then he just came out with a new version. He talked with us on a different episode. If you want to go through and listen to that, it was awesome. He's talking about, what was he saying? Those entry holes were almost 3 inches.
Yeah.
He's thought like on impact. It blew his mind. So it's awesome. We've killed plenty of deer with them, or plenty. We've killed enough. We just got with them. We've killed enough to go through and say, they do work. I've put them in shoulders. Levi's put them through shoulders and everything. And the only thing you might have to do is change the blades. Then we got Dominant Strands bowstrings. Definitely go through. Check out Lewis. He's always doing something. He can make your custom strings for your bow and everything. Some people have asked me, if they could just go down to his shop or order them online and say, I want these or these, if they can just go to a store and go through and buy them. And Lewis does not do that. We've did a couple episodes with him, and he explains why he doesn't do it that way. It's very interesting. It's actually almost mind-blowing on how very valid or very important it is for your bow to perform correctly and everything. So go through, check out Lewis, and he will get you all hooked up. Custom colors. I don't know. Trent, I don't even know how to for your bow, specifically for your bow, any type of bow. And if he can't get it figured out, he knows people he can't get it figured out. And then we got ECW hunting calls. Jeff goes through and he has these beautiful, wonderful, pieces of art. He went through and did some grunt calls for us, me and Levi, a few years ago. They're great, love them. They're very durable and everything. And then he went through and made some turkey slate calls and some box calls for all of us this turkey season. We use the shit out of them. They're just like the rest of our sponsors. They're great, amazing, wonderful people. So make sure you go and check out him. And then finally for this one, we got Backwoods Premium Wildlife Products. We actually took a little break from a different episode and we were talking, or I'm sorry, we didn't take a break. On our last episode, we were sitting there and talking about what we're going to get out there and plant and everything, and a big chunk of it's going to be through backwoods and everything. So they're very interesting. If you go through and check out their stuff, they have videos on kind of, you know, what their thought process is, why they're planting this and that, and all that. So make sure you go through, check them out, and let them know that you heard of them through us, just like all of our other sponsors, so we can keep them happy, which keeps us happy, which keeps everybody happy, which keeps the world running, because our happiness is what keeps the world going. So,
and that's why we let you do the sponsors.
Yeah, because long-winded.
Yeah.
So on this episode, Jesse was nice enough to stay with us. I think we kind of piqued his interest a little bit when he asked us what we were going to talk about. We're going to talk about social media, the pros and the cons, you know, things like that.
The good, the bad, the ugly.
Exactly. Sadly, it's usually a bunch of the ugly in there. So, but that's what this episode's going to be all about. So without further ado, we'll just get right into the ugly. So what do you guys think is probably the biggest bad part about these social medias or these people trying to go out and be social media influencers?
Well, I think it's just when people put stuff on social media, it's just like you doubt yourself. Not almost sounds like a hunter, but you know, you got the people that you almost get embarrassed to put something on there. Just if you're like we talked about last episode, if you're proud of something, put it out there, show people that you're proud. But then you got the people that'll bash you, so that kind of deters people. Like, okay, this is my first deer, first turkey, first whatever. Post it, and then someone's like, "You shot that? I wouldn't even." I take pictures of those, or you know, it's just like I would never shoot one of those in my wildest dreams. But it takes the fun for some people out of it. It's like, well, I'm not going to post stuff on social media. I'm just going to get bashed for it.
Right.
But like I said, if you get happy about it, have at it, have fun.
And it seems like a lot of those guys that bash you on it, they're the first ones to be the Monday morning quarterback. Like, okay, what have you done? You know, like if I'm posting a deer on there and it's my first deer, or maybe first deer with a bow or something like that, 125 incher, I'm freaking super stoked about it. It's like, okay, what have you done? You know, let's see your credentials.
Well, I think you can kind of in that same breath, these people, they need to understand though too, to where sometimes these people, because you can't really get the feeling like off of a message, you know, so this person, I'm just playing devil's advocate here. On the other side, you know, if they go through and say something like, you know, like, ooh, you know, I probably wouldn't have shot that. I probably would have waited for this and this. And they're just kind of like giving a 2 cents thing because they're legitimately trying to go through and give proper advice. I think there's also, though, too, there's too many people that go through and they take, if it's not like high fives, great job, you're amazing. Like if they get like a little bit of maybe something they don't want to hear, you know, some
constructive criticism.
Constructive criticism, exactly. They instantly go through and, you know, everybody's a hater and all that stuff too. So I just wanted to put that out real quick too, that, you know, everything that you read on the internet from these people, because like you're saying, if they're, you know, like, what are your credentials? Shit, and then you go through and you look, you're like, fuck, dude, this dude kills big deer all the time and he does this and that. So it's like,
But it seems like, you know, a lot of the people that do comment on those things like that aren't those guys that kill big deer.
Correct. I'm just, like I said, I'm just playing devil's advocate here.
No, I get it. But it seems like most of the guys, though, that are like guys like us, you know, like we're all for, you know, shoot what makes you happy.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And I don't know. It just seems like the majority of the hunting community is like that. But, you know, what bad apples there are, it seems like does ruin the whole bunch. Like like they say, you know, and a lot of the social media, or I wouldn't say social media influencers, but a lot of your bigger names in the industry, you see them commenting on things and they're positive about it. Like those guys aren't like Michael Waddell and, you know, those guys aren't running you down for shooting 120 incher.
No.
Like Michael Waddell's been there. He shot 120 inchers. He cut his teeth on 120 inchers, you know, to get to where he's at now. So he's not going to knock, you know, and then there's other guys that are, you know, right there doing it too, that are, you know, celebrating with you. So I feel like the majority of the hunting communities like us, they're positive about it, but it's just a few that ruins it.
Which sadly it is one of those things to where it, like you said, it's a few small apples or bad apples ruin the bunch. But I mean, it and I kind of think too sometimes, like when I was thinking about bringing this up, it's almost like a double-edged sword, because we are definitely, you know, like 4 guys. We'll even count Jesse. He's in here with us. 5 guys go through, try to praise people, help people out, and do this and that. But the way for us to get out there is mostly through social media.
Yeah.
So then we're trying to go through and actually focus up and do the way that we feel this social media stuff should be done. Taking kids out on their first hunts, going through, hey, this is my first, traditional bow that I've ever shot one, or holy shit, this is my first, like you were saying last episode, my 7-year-old buck, he's not really much to look at, but it's the time and the effort and stuff. So there most definitely is, I feel, that line to where we kind of tiptoe on it a little bit because, one, I mean, I'm sure you guys are with me too. I don't give a shit. If people want to nag on me and say negative things and say, oh, you shouldn't have did this and did this and this, then okay, thanks for your 2 cents.
Yep.
Bye. I don't care.
Well, not long ago during turkey season, we had our
First
pretty much
taker.
our first
Oh
taker,
yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, absolutely.
saying we're hunting stupid birds,
Yeah.
hunting stupid turkeys up here.
Come
in
down
Illinois.
where he lives, and
Yeah.
that's hard turkeys to hunt.
You got a hater, you've made it.
That's right.
Oh man, we're big time in less than a few years doing this. Oh, awesome, great times. But I mean, and it's one of those things too, is to where, I mean, especially with being a man, it's difficult not to be like, man, you know what? Go pound sand, dude. Fuck
Right.
yourself.
Yeah.
And this and that.
Oh, yeah.
We got to go through and be
Got to be nice and
nice.
professional.
Yeah, mostly it's professional. So you think about the nicest way to tell somebody, to get drugged behind a truck.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And you know,
What I think we do is we just take, just tell him, hey, if those turkeys are so smart down there where you're at, invite us down and
Yeah,
we'll show you
come
how
on.
to kill them.
Yeah.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah.
And it was funny because we messaged back and said, thanks for your 2 cents. We're just going to keep doing the things we're doing. It's how we like to do it. Blah 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 blah, and that never heard back.
That's the thing. You got those social media bullies that
yeah.
will just talk crap through a keyboard or through their thumbs on the phone, and then if you're face to face with them, it's just like, oh, I didn't say that. That's not what I meant.
oh, it's easy to type something out and talk
exactly.
shit.
Yeah.
No, another, of course, me being an old fucker, but regardless, back in the day, did not grow up with social media.
Right.
And I don't even have Facebook, but social media, it's such a great spot to learn so much stuff for so many people, especially new hunters, new outdoorsmen. They can learn a lot, but then I feel like there's a lot to learn, but then it's also maybe like an overload. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely.
Like, you're like,
Absolutely.
as a new, of course, we all learn not on social media. We all learn how to hunt ourselves.
Yeah.
We didn't have that.
YouTube didn't have any of that.
So these kids, like you're watching this shit, fishing and hunting, and you're like, these kids freak out. They're like, we got to have $50,000 to even walk out and do anything. You got to have this, you got to have that. You don't have to have that.
That you watch a video about rattling, being super aggressive on a deer, and then the next video is don't call.
Do not call.
Don't
Yeah.
call.
Yeah.
Or use deer scent, or don't use.
And they don't tell you why.
Well,
Right.
it's just that
Yeah.
there's so much information out there, and everybody's different on it, so that people don't know what to do because people have success both ways, but they flop back and forth of, okay, this person said to do this, and this person said never do that, what the last person just said, so they don't know what to believe.
So that comes down to the point. Fuck social media. Figure it out on your own.
Yeah.
Right.
Draw your own conclusions.
Yes, you watch all that shit and
Absorb it and figure
absorb
out
it. Take some,
Different tactics.
okay, but go out and figure it out on your own. That's how
Right.
we all did it.
Yeah.
That's how we're all sitting here right now.
Right. And I think that's something that kind of we bring to the table too. I mean, we most definitely go through and we use these certain products and we do, and it's because, we firm believer behind them. I mean, they took a chance on us and everything, and we're nothing but happy to have them and everything. But like you said, we don't need that stuff to go through and go do it. But these people are great people. They deal with us. They're wonderful
Yep.
and everything. So we want to go through and help them out by doing it. Because like you were just kind of getting into I can't do this without getting a $50,000 X, Y, and Z and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, exactly. But everybody needs the products to go do it.
Correct.
But I just think that people that are just getting into it, that don't know shit about it, they get too overwhelmed. Like we can't even afford to do it.
Yeah, don't go out and buy top of the line. I think my first ever bow was a Martin Jaguar.
Right.
And, I mean, it was just a cheap little bow, and
Yeah.
I mean, I killed a lot of deer with it. And that was just my first ever bow. I loved it. And then I slowly started upgrading to different bows and stuff. But it's just like, I didn't go out and buy the bestest, newest thing out there. I started low, and I kind of self-taught myself. I mean,
That's how we had to start.
Yeah,
We couldn't
exactly.
start any different, you know what I mean?
well, you start out with a stick and string. But,
Well, I did, yeah.
Slingshot, or what are the when you spin around a rock?
yeah.
I was thinking more like an atlatl.
You know,
Yeah, there you go, an Atlas.
Back in the early 30s.
But I think with that too, and I think that's what we bring to the table is like we're down to earth. We're going to give you our 2 cents on what works with us.
Right.
You know, like Jesse was talking about like a rattling sequence and this and that. You know, like in our last episode, we were talking about, you know, learning your property and learning how your deer movement go through and do this and that. Don't sit there and go, you know, let's go with Michael Waddell. You know, Michael Waddell goes through and kills all these deer, and he's world famous. He can't go anywhere without somebody, you know, wanting his autograph and stuff. Like, that's what I want. So obviously he knows what he's doing. That, you know, okay, all right. Well, I saw that he hunted, you know, this 80 acres. Okay, well, I need to go through and I need to find me 80 acres. Okay, well, his goes through and has 2 creek bottoms that come through and everything. Oh shit. Okay, now I got to find one that has 2. You know, trying to find exactly what these people are doing, instead of just taking it, like you guys were saying, absorbing some of the information that they're giving, but then going through and also go through and seeing, you know, if these people aren't full of shit.
Yeah.
You know, figuring it out yourself, going through and doing this and being like, okay, you know, I watched this episode and, you know, they said absolutely don't call on this, but absolutely drench these scrapes like in deer urine. Well, if you want to go through and try that, try it out, because with deer urine, dude, I've seen them come through and their nose to the ground, and I mean they're 100% on it. But I've also seen them to where they come in at 2 sniffs and they're up and gone.
Yeah. It's like, nope.
You know, so it's you've really got to go through. I think is pick and choose with who you listen to. Other than us, if you're listening to us, great job. Follow us.
It's the
do
gospel.
do exactly what we're telling you to do. We're the best, and you know, go through and pick and choose and figure out who these people are. Because it's one of those things too, is even these quote unquote professional hunters get paid by doing all this, dude. You go through and you go down some rabbit holes, dude, you find out there's some crooked people, man.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. And that's mainstream hunting, like, you know, you're guys that are big time. So you got to sit and realize, and I'm not criticizing any of them because I watch and love a lot of them guys, but they're getting set up everywhere they go.
Yeah.
They walk in, they go get in a stand. Mm-hmm. They hunt. They're good hunters, and they probably get in there and be like, "Hey, man, I think we should change this up or do this sometimes." But they're set up every place they go.
Right.
For us, we got to set ourselves up.
Yeah.
We're not going in and going to this farm, and we just go get in a stand. We're setting ourselves up. So we got all that work compared to doing that and then going and hunting. And
Right.
so it just. Those guys got there because they are good outdoorsmen, and I wish I was there where I could just walk into a farm and be like, "Hey, go sit in this stand." But we're all sitting here right now. We ain't doing that.
Right.
But,
And that's what always discouraged me. Like when I was younger and I would watch like Michael Waddell, the Juries, and like all these guys, Hunter Specialty, just, you know, all the stuff what I watched growing up is I always thought once you rattled, the deer,
Oh yeah,
deer
instantly
would show up.
because it seems like every time they're like, dude, I just put my antlers down and boom.
You know, as you get older, you realize like, okay, they rattled, filler footage, and then boom, there's the deer. So it made it seem like
lot of B-roll.
So then I would, you know, even up to my teens, I would sit there and rattle and just grab my bow. I'm like, okay, I just seen Michael Waddell do this. He rattled, set the antlers down, and he had a freaking 170-inch deer 20 yards in front of him. So then, like, once in a blue moon, one would pop out 100 yards and kind of look across the field. I'm like, well, that's not how it's supposed to happen.
and not to
It's supposed
bust your
come
balls, but you're probably doing that on October 1st when you were a kid.
September 31st.
Pre rattle game. Pre rattle game. But I
Sparring. There was
yeah. But I also want to touch on something kind of real quick too, is for people that don't know us, I will say four of us for sure have dibble-dabbled in the quote-unquote professional hunting, this and that. We've either helped or we've known people, and I don't want to put out too much because I don't know what you guys want to put out. So if you guys want to say what you're a part of, absolutely go ahead. But I just want to say for like my 2 cents, like I went through and I filmed for a very big outdoor group, company, whatever you want to call them. So I do have some insight on some of this and that, and it is one of those things to where, dude, we'd go out and hunt, and I wouldn't even call it hunting. I mean, sat there, froze my balls off, doing this, doing that, going out and I mean, it's these guys too that are going out and putting out actual hard work and everything. So I just don't want to make it sound like I'm bitter. Like I don't know from like what it is behind the curtain, because I most definitely do know what it is behind the curtain. So when we're saying like don't drink the Kool-Aid necessarily because of everything that you see on the professional side, don't drink the Kool-Aid. Like dude, these people, when you go through and you find the right people and you see that they are absolutely
100%.
busting their ass, putting in so many hours in a day, so many hours in a week, a month, a year, food plot preparations, gear. I mean, even if you're going through like gear and stuff, trying to go through, even with the little bit of stuff that we have through our podcast, trying to keep your sponsors happy and stuff like this. It's not we wake up and we got boxes of shit on our doorstep every day.
But mainstream hunting, like the guys that do this for a living, it's nonstop travel. You're on the road, staying here. You got to get up every morning and hunt and video that shit to make a living off of it. It's a grind,
right?
A big time grind,
right.
And I guided some people, some big time people that did it, and they get worn out. Like they're to the point, like they're just like, man, I need a week off, but they can't because that's how they make
That's their job.
Yeah.
So that's where I just want to say, like, we have an idea of what we are talking about. We have seen behind the curtain, some more than others and this and that, but we do have so when we're telling you guys this, we're not blowing smoke up your ass.
No.
When you talk about, behind the scenes and everything, a lot of these guys, the Drurys, Lee and Tiffany Lukoski, Jeff Danker, Major League Bow Hunter, Seek One Productions, those guys, I'm here to tell you, are the real deal. Like, they put in the work. Their minds never stop. Their work ethic never stops. They set themselves up for success. I mean, they're not one of these guys that, blow smoke up your ass and then goes and climbs in a tree that somebody else did all the work for the whole year.
Yeah, exactly.
Those are the guys that you want to be following.
Yes.
And when they say something, more than likely it's going to be a good tactic. And they're going to tell you the backstory behind it and how to use it, why to do it, all that good stuff. They're setting you up for success, not this Joe Blow on social media that might have, 20,000 followers, but he hasn't killed a single deer in his life. It's like those are the guys you want to follow. And it's like a lot of times you can tell who those genuine people are. And one of the biggest things that stuck out with some of those people in the industry to me is how genuine they are as people. But especially like Jeff Danker, his biggest thing is never quit learning. Right. So they're telling you all this information and they're still learning. They've been doing it 30, 40 years and they're still learning. We've been doing it for, 15, 20, 30 years. We're still learning.
Absolutely.
So whatever they say, take it with a grain of salt. Yes, it works at times. Like Jesse said, no, it doesn't work at times, but never quit learning. Like, go out there and apply it and draw your own conclusion on it.
And I don't know, I feel like we kind of went off topic here a little bit. We kind of floated off to the side, but getting back to like the social media and stuff to where, don't believe everything that you say or see and everything like that is because there are companies out there and we all know that, there's companies that they pop up one night, they're the hot commodity for 2-3 months.
Oh yeah.
Then all of a sudden they die out and everything like this. And you're like, dude, what the hell? Well, it's because they got big titted Tina out there, in a bathing suit, shaking her ass and doing this and that. And everybody's sitting there and following and liking because there are some companies that go through and that's 100% of what they are. They want the follows, they want the likes, and they go through and think, hey, if we can stay hot for 2-3 months, we can get, like I said, big titted Tina out here and she's going to go through and get our merchandise sold and all this and all that. And then, then we ain't got to worry about it anymore because, dude, all of us, we're going to go through, sell this off to this other company. They're going to put their own little spin of snake oil on there because I'm sure you guys seen it too. There's been companies I'll go out and look and I'm like, dude, that packaging is exactly what this was. And the only difference is instead of having A and B in it, now it's got A, B, and C.
Yeah.
So I think social media, it is something to where you need to go through big time and do your research with it. Like you guys are saying, find out who these people are. See, yes, obviously, you know, you're not going to be able to go up, and not everybody's going to be able to meet the juries or, you know, oh my God, my mind just blanked out. You know, all these big name people and everything. But if you go through and watch and see what they're doing, giving back, I mean, they're either genuinely these people trying to go through and help you do this, or they're hell of good actors.
Yeah.
You know,
That's a lot of what TV is now is good. Shit, I just lost the entertainers.
yes,
Yeah,
absolutely,
exactly.
yes.
They're good hunters, but you're watching it mostly because they're entertaining to watch.
Yeah.
And when me and Levi first started doing this and talking about this and that, you know, we were going to go through, do the recordings and try to do this and try to do that. But then it was just his lifestyle, my lifestyle. And it was, dude, I mean, 1,000%, if we wanted to do that, which anybody can. I mean, there's some people that, you know, I watch on YouTube, I watch these young kids coming out and dude, they're like 19, 20 years old. Dude, I mean, their stuff absolutely blows the doors off of some of these other productions of these people that are going through. But it's like Jesse was just saying, they're great actors. They go through and they make it look like they're putting in this, but it's just super entertaining to watch. And you're watching almost, which I enjoyed is you watch everything like before it, what's going on. You get the full story to where, like, you know, back in the day it's always, hey, it's November 3rd. We're up here in the tree, blah, blah, blah. And it's always this and that. And then my question is like, dude, how'd you guys get there?
Yeah.
Like I want to learn to see how you guys get there and everything. But it's 100% the entertainment value, which that's what sells. You know, that's what puts, as they say, you know, seats and asses and everything. But if you can go through, which I truly do feel that we are those type of people, that where we're sincere, we like something, we're going to tell you what works for us. If you want to use it, great. Or even if you go through and you have, you know, like 2 cents and you have a tip, like, hey man, you know, this is what's worked for me before. You know, you might want to go through like our last one. We were talking about throwing some rye and some other stuff into these podcasts. Like we are very much open for discussions on to how to legitimately make everybody better. You know, because I mean, because I'll be the first one to go through and say it. Like I've only been maybe 10 years. You know, and you've been doing it, you know, like what, 25?
Yeah, close to 30.
30 years. And Chris, you've been hunting for, you're 103 minus. So you've been doing it, you know, but I'd say you've been doing it for what, solid 40 years?
30 years.
30 years, you know, and I mean, like I said, I guarantee I'm by far the lowest end person on outdoor experience out there. And all I do is absorb information from you guys, and I take it and I try to apply it, which I think more people should do.
Jesse, how old are you?
32.
Okay, I knew you were right around that age.
And then even, you know, Jesse, when you guys were doing your thing, dude, I loved your guys' stuff. I sat there and watched it and learned and tried to take 2 cents on this and that because I truly did feel that you guys put out a genuine good product. It wasn't just, you know, hey, you know, you want to go kill a big deer, you better sure as shit go through and get you a brand new Matthews 33 with custom grips and this and that and spend $15,000 on all your equipment.
Because they were all kids. I mean, they were young. You guys were young when you started that, which is pretty awesome. So that's
So I think we keep going back all around to, you know, most definitely go through and do your research on these people. It's not hard. I mean, it's all the time. I'll just go with Brackett when he got all caught up in all his shit. You know, dude, I'll be the first one to admit, dude, I loved watching his stuff. Dude, it was entertaining. It was this and that. But then it was like the more I found out about him, no.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't want anything to do with it because it's just the truth and the honesty comes out eventually. You know, I don't even, you know, and then it's one of those, I knew people that knew him or knew people that met him and do this and do that. And they're like, dude, that dude is a prick. You know, like he doesn't want this and that. And
I'm glad you said that, so I didn't have to say it.
dude, I mean, well, what's he going to do? Listen to us? No. He, you know what I mean? But that's what I want to get to that too, is to where, you know, we are very honest about it and everything. You know what I mean? It's if we're going to call a spade, as they say, you know,
Absolutely.
It's, if we don't like it, we don't like it. If
We're all adults here.
yeah. But it's also at the same time, I understand too, is to where, you know, you might have a great interaction with Billy Bob over here and be like, dude, he's a great guy. He went through and he did this and that. I'm like, dude, no, dude, fuck that guy. You know what this guy did about this and this to me? It's kind of one of those things where like he didn't do nothing, or I don't like him. That doesn't mean that you can't like him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if people want to go through and not listen to us because we all think Brackett's an asshole and the shit that he did is completely
Whatever.
wrong.
Yeah.
That's all on them.
Go ahead.
Dude, it's so bad. My wife, who of course she watches hunting because she has to and everything.
She has no choice.
But dude, like she sits there and she's like, I just don't like him. Like she found out and I showed her videos and she's like, no. She's like, how can you do that? Because she had nothing to do anything at all in the hunting world until her and I got together. All she did is fish a little bit, but went through and meeting my hunting buddies and everything like this. We're all on the same page, outdoorsmen, conservation people. This is how you do it. You do this, you do right. You want to, yes, everybody wants to kill big deer, but sometimes you don't. It's the work, it's the sweat, putting all this stuff. And I showed her these videos and stuff, and she's just like, what in the world? Like, why? And, and I explained to her, well, he got big and he got this and that and pressure. And
Well, that's a whole nother
whole-
topic of the social.
yeah,
media
I feel
because
like,
it puts the pressure on
Trying
these
to get
guys.
too big.
yeah, and I feel myself, going completely off track again.
No, but it's a good off track though, because that's what happens. That's what happens to these guys. They
Got to kill a booner.
They have
Right.
to kill.
Yeah.
you got to
they
kill,
don't
or,
see
Their
TV
job.
show.
Yeah.
or they get fucking greedy and they got to get so much social media out there.
Right.
And they start doing fucked up shit like not having tags and using somebody else's tags so I can get that online.
Yeah.
That's got to keep going.
Right.
And then
See,
that's
everybody
what they
should
get
just be
from.
more like us, because dude, we ain't got a pot to piss in when it comes to this stuff.
Well, and-
we don't care.
We got 5 damn good guys sitting right here.
Hell yeah.
Everybody's good.
Yeah.
This table right here, you can't beat it, as far as I'm concerned.
We're gonna have to hold you to that when all of a
I
sudden.
was gonna say he sounds pretty biased.
And if you're like,
I don't know.
if like me, you don't kill
that's
shit
just-
anyway. So I mean,
Hey, you're part of the group.
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
all you are is a scotch ahead of me.
That's right.
Welcome to be the smart kid in the dumb room.
so I can't do anything illegal because I can't kill shit. So.
Well, yeah, that's a very good point. But no, I think social media as a whole can be very, very positive if you find the right group, person, or whatever. But at the same time, it can be extremely negative and this and that. And speaking of all that, dude, I don't know what it was, video, TikTok, screen, reel, whatever it was that you sent me about that dude when he was talking about suburban hunters and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, I about peed my pants. I was laughing so hard. So, yeah, but so that's this, there's people that go through and they do that. So, God, we just ramble and I keep getting off track. So, is there anything else that other big negative stuff that you guys could think, basically that social media is ruining or not good for hunting as a whole?
Just not believe in everything you read and don't just take people's comments with a grain of salt. Just if you're happy about something, kudos to you. Be happy with it.
Yeah.
Don't worry about what Joe Blow says about it.
Quit shaming people, and if you're on the other end of the stick, don't read so much into the shame. Take it with a
Right.
grain of salt.
Yeah, I think the shaming thing's a big part. I think we most definitely need more, great job. Love the story behind it. That's amazing. You came back from this and that and you did this. First deer ever on your first property that you've owned, you know what I mean? Or you're excited because you're tilling dirt on the first property that you've ever
Right.
had because, or, so-and-so passed away and now it's the first deer that or whatever that you've killed ever since they've passed away.
And I've read stories where, it wasn't like the biggest deer in the world. The guy was excited, but it was a stand. I think him and his grandpa hung, and his grandpa hung the year before.
Right.
And then wasn't able to shoot a deer. He went to that next year, shot a deer out of that stand, and was like excited about it. And then you had that guy who was like, well, I would have passed him up. It's like, dude, read the story behind it. Like,
Yeah,
it wasn't about the deer. It was about the moment.
Yeah.
Well, my thing is with that, why even say that?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Just
Why?
The social
and then
media bullies.
You got to throw PETA in there too, and people that are against hunting. A lot of the negativity comes from that, and that destroys a lot of good pages because so many people and that's another thing for youth hunters. Our kids that are coming up to start hunting, with them being so big in social media, all kids, and getting to see all this stuff, and so many people putting out, killing an animal is bad, catching a fish, you're hooking them in the mouth. That's horrible.
Mm-hmm.
We've been doing it since day one here.
Right.
That's how we started. And if you're doing it in a way of catching fish and cleaning them, or like I do, I'm a big bass fisherman. One of my buddies called it a waste of time fish. It's a waste of time because you can't eat them. You don't eat them. You just throw them back. But we throw them back. Deer hunting, we eat them. turkey hunting, we eat them. That's the way the world evolved. And people want to criticize, well, you can go buy that shit. Why kill them? Well, you can go buy it, but if you're buying it, somebody had to kill it to
Right.
go buy it. So
Exactly.
that's what I don't get. Like, why don't you go to the store and buy it instead of killing it?
And you don't get the experience. It's like, what experience do you get from driving to the grocery store? I mean,
That ain't worth a shit.
Can I go to the slaughterhouse and watch you kill that cow so I can take it home and eat it?
Most of those people that say the negative comments would never walk up to you and say, I'd have passed that deer.
No.
Oh,
They
yeah,
wouldn't. They're not
absolutely.
gonna. I'm not gonna walk up to AJ and be like, "The fuck did you kill that deer for?"
Yeah. No. Exactly.
I'm not gonna. Dude, punch me in the mouth.
Yeah,
Well,
or just like and just
Yeah.
leave.
Yeah.
Like, dude, you're not
not gonna happen.
worth my time.
Yeah.
and then you get the comment that we
I wouldn't punch you in the mouth.
well, I'm just saying, like, there's some people out there that would. Like, there's some people out there that would. Like,
Right.
but nobody's gonna. Most people. There's some out there that probably would, but not punch. But there's some people out there that walk up to you, but majority of the time they're not going to do that.
No.
Then you get the comment, like we've talked about numerous times on previous episodes, is the must be nice people. When you see somebody that's
yeah.
doing well for
be nice.
themselves, that has earned it.
Oh, yeah.
And then you get the must be nice. If I had all their time and all their money, and I had that same ground, I could kill that caliber deer too.
Mm-hmm.
Those people more than likely work their ass off to get there.
Right.
Oh yeah, some way, shape, or form. I mean, granted, once you get to a certain point, probably we'll just throw juries out there. They're probably getting this and that, getting shit given free, getting paid, blah 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 blah. But like you guys were saying earlier, like when they first started though, no,
140
Yeah.
inches were getting
Yeah.
pounded.
yeah, and and they had their humongous VCR tapes and
Yeah.
out there, and doing those terrible audio voiceovers, and all this stuff. These people come from something,
Right.
Yeah.
and it's
It
and
just didn't happen overnight.
I love all the pictures that get posted from juries from like way back when, and all the videos. That's awesome to watch that because like watching that growing up, but forgetting about it, and then go back and watching them like, damn, that's crazy,
right.
Well,
And then you sit here and you're like, dude, how did they kill these animals? Dude, they didn't have such and such and so and blah 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 and this and that and X, Y, and Z, and they weren't hunting 700 acres. They didn't have the mineral blocks, and they didn't have this and the food plots and all. Like, how did they even go through and do that?
But just like we're evolving as hunters, the deer are evolving too.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of a thing that a lot of people forget about is, they're like, well, back in the day, we sat there in the stand and we smoked cigarettes and we had our Carhartts on and our flannel shirt on,
Drinking coffee.
drinking
Yeah.
coffee with our longbow or our recurve. We shot deer. Yeah, but there wasn't the pressure
But it's
then. You know what I mean?
But it's one of those things too. Is, I mean, almost anytime we go, I would say more often than not, anytime we go, we probably could shoot a deer too.
Right.
But we're looking for a certain caliber. We're trying to get this.
Yeah,
we're
we've
working
evolved as hunters.
Yeah. So it's when these people go through and they do say like, oh, back like you said, smoking cigarettes, doing that, and shot a deer and blah. Yeah, well, we could too, but it's not what we are looking for to try to grow and become better, and and help and this and that. All right, time out, boys. We're
right.
going to go into a sponsorship here. So we got Hex with Mike and everything like that. Jesse, do you know anything about Hex at all? I kind of skipped on this last time.
I don't. I mean, I've heard of it, but I don't. I've never used it.
So it's legit. There's something to where it goes through and it breaks up your
Electromagnetic waves.
waves that you give off and stuff like this, dude. Especially during turkey season, dude. These we all know the birds will come in and they'll spot you from forever away, dude. These birds will come in and we've one of our episodes we just went through and did. We had me, Levi, and another young lady all in his blind, and we're sitting there and dude, and these suckers walked 15 yards right in front of us. And I mean, sticking out like a sore Peter, and it just messes up with the electrical waves and everything, and really helps with them. His old man has had super good experience with him. He had like almost when it first came out and stuff. He's had does come up to him and like put their nose like in his face and stuff. It breaks down your electrical field and everything. And when these deer come in, if they do spook, it's almost like I don't know if I like that, and they might flick their tail and they trot off. I mean, unless you guys have seen something different. I haven't had one blow
No.
or stomp the ground or anything. It just
this is my first year. Turkey season was my first time using it, so and I was damn impressed by it all the way around. So this will be my first deer season getting to use it. So I'm looking forward to that.
Same here. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
crazy. It just breaks up the whole electrical field. If you go through and watch like any of their videos, especially with Mike's a big guy, and he'll sit out there turkey hunting, and he's got an orange vest on, and he's sitting there, and they're coming in, and he's waving his arm like nothing frantic, but I mean he's slow waving, and they're just sitting there and watching. So hopefully we turned you on to that. At least then go check them out. See, Mike, if you're listening, we're promoting your stuff as much as we can. Okay, and then we got Wild Oak.
Maybe we could put Mike in the tutu next year.
I mean, if he if he wants to get on the wager, yeah, absolutely. But I will say this
we should throw
though.
him in the mix next year.
But I will say this: he ain't losing. No, dude, he's killing birds all the time out there.
I noticed that.
That is 100% his thing is turkey hunting. And then, like I was saying, we got Wild Oak, Whitetails, Buck Lure. Corey, very, very small business is one reason why we love dealing with him. It's one deer, one bottle. He goes through, gets them out, pens them up and everything, and he'll get them out to you as soon as he can. Won't be too long at all, and it'll be time to start going out and start, if you're into it, we're not pressuring you, but if you're into it, freshening scrapes, putting it on your boots and everything and this and that. And then we got Marath Welding. Go through, follow his stuff. It's the same thing I say with him every single time, just because you don't know what he's getting into. He's upside down in machines. He's hanging off of rails. I think he was up in a water tower the other day doing something. I mean, you just don't know what is going on with him. But if you do have something to where you maybe want something fabricated on like a piece of machinery to go through and help out your food plots or your tractors and stuff, let him know. I put something in his ear the other day. He's going to go through and we're going to modify one of my Cultipacker and get it so it become a crimper, which would be great. And then finally for this round is Antler Ridge with Jesse. Make sure you go through and listen to our last episode when he was sitting here and talking with us about kind of how he got started and all that good stuff. We're more than happy to go through and have him with us, and then staying over and doing another episode with us on here. He goes through, he does hats. He told us he wants to expand a little bit, but he doesn't know about his comfort zone. So make sure you go through and hammer him a whole bunch, saying, "Hey, I want this and that." Maybe we can pressure him into, expanding out and doing a little bit more. So, all right, 2 down, only got 1 left to go. Okay, where were we at with everything else? We were talking about social media on the positives, negatives, great things. We're the best. They suck. What?
One thing I want to is I'm totally coming way off the subject, but if we'd like to have some replies on what people thought about this, and we talked about it.
Yeah.
We talked about doing a get together sometime this year.
Yep.
Having a bunch of stations set up, fishing, hunting, and involving a bunch of kids, and just doing an afternoon of. We'll have a ton of guys here. Everybody's got something to talk about. All the kids jump from station to station and just learn different things. And you guys give us a, reply on if that would be a good thing, something you're interested in, because I think it'd be awesome.
Yeah, I think that'd be great because I'm starting to see kind of a new wave of some of these younger generations coming through to where they are wanting to get in the outdoors a little bit more, but mom, dad, don't know nothing about nothing, but they want their child to go through, and
They want him to be an outdoorsman.
Yeah,
but we just don't do it, but he wants to do it, or she wants to do it, so
yeah, I think that'd be great if we go out there, give 2 cents on how to do this and everything. I'm sure you guys have too. I've had people ask, hey, can you teach my child X, Y, and Z about, being safe, getting in and out of trees, what you're looking for when you go through and shoot an animal, and things like that. I think
I think it'd
phenomenal.
be, we got enough, our friendship group's big enough, we could set up stations and just have the kids just, not long, but just flow through all the little deals.
Like a short seminar kind of thing.
Yeah, just very short, but go through and learn this, learn that, and the kids can ask questions. And I mean, for me as a kid, if I got to go to something like that, that'd have been a blast.
And that's like growing up. When I started hunting, I had no clue how to field dress a deer. No.
You still don't.
No, I don't. But luckily, when I was out there, there was a guy that hunts our property. He just shotgun hunts it. And he heard me shoot and just kind of wandered off into my direction. I'm sitting there. I mean, it was my first ever deer. It was like a little 4-pointer. I was probably 10, 11 years old.
I wouldn't have shot that.
And I know it. Thank God there wasn't Facebook then.
Punch him in the mouth.
Yeah.
So he just came over. He's like, "Oh, good job. Congratulations." And I was like, "Yeah, it's my first deer." I said, "Grandma and Grandpa called my mom and dad. They're coming." My dad didn't deer hunt, didn't know nothing about it. And then he's just like, "All right, so what are you going to do with it?" And I'm like, "Well, I don't know what to do next." And he's like, "Well, you got to gut it." And I'm like, couldn't tell you. Well, first I thought field dressing was you had to like drag it into a field. And then like, I was just like, I don't know how to field dress it.
And put some pants on it, nice blouse with a ball cap.
I was taking my cover off on the deer. But yeah, so I was just like, stuff like that when people want to get into deer hunting or hunting in general, like that's something you need to know. Because yeah, if you harvest an animal, you can't just be like,
But you're happy with
No.
that animal. But your dad said, don't put that on social media because your ass fucking
exactly.
criticized.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
No, I think that's great you brought that up. Absolutely. I think that'd be a great, even if we did it Sunday afternoon.
No, I think it'd be perfect. Yeah,
Yeah.
just a Sunday afternoon. I think a lot of kids would be like super pumped up to do that. Like they think it'd be the most awesome thing in the world because we could get a lot of people. I know Jesse would come for sure, but we could get a lot of people that would definitely be involved and set up some pretty cool things in, a couple hours.
Right. And then we would make sure to put it on social media so that everybody could go through and
Exactly,
see how great and
exactly.
amazing we are and all that.
But no,
Crystal wears tutu around the entire time.
Oh, that's yes. Okay, he doesn't have a choice. If we go through and do this,
I'll do a showing. I'll do
showing?
a
Showing.
little showing. Come out for like 10
all right.
seconds.
So even if these people don't want no help or nothing, if you just want to come out and see Chris doing the Vogue out in his tutu, we'll go through and try to get that for you.
We'll get a catwalk.
There you go,
Man.
back and forth.
Yep.
And I will share it too. I mean, Jesse, you want to put it on
I'll
for a
put it
minute?
Not ashamed of anything.
Right.
If I put it on, I'm dressing just like Ace Ventura, 100%.
Just with the hair and the
hair.
whole and
Yep.
everything. That's
Yep.
great. So, okay, so we did kind of a little bit on the negatives and stuff of social media and everything. So let's jump into some positive stuff. Like I know we share videos back and forth, for ideas and everything like that. Like, oh shit, like, dude, this guy came up with this, or this is how this person breaks this down because it helps them out. And it like we said before, it might be good for your property, but it wouldn't be good for my property. So yeah, what are some good positive things so that you would get out of?
Out of social media?
Yeah.
The Hunted Podcast.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, what else do you need, right?
Well, I would say probably on Jesse's behalf too, having a new kind of like company thing you're doing, that probably helps you immensely, getting your name out there and getting people like word of mouth almost like thing. Like
Oh,
we
yeah.
don't do, I mean, it's a billboard on your phone pretty much is what social media kind of is.
Yeah.
Well, you just meeting people in general, like
Oh, absolutely.
Some of my best friends I've never met in person, but I talk to every day through some sort of social media. That's how I met them.
Yep.
Which through that you kind of get your niche, see how these people are. And I mean, for as big as the world is, it's like, it's not very big. Like you can find people that have your exact same interests, your exact same philosophies.
100%.
Me
yeah.
and Chris met at a gas station.
Yeah.
Hey, we're not that kind of. Yeah, no. In the front of the gas station at least.
Yes.
It was on the front. Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, I mean, you don't know. But I think even if you don't kill whatever, or you're not part of whatever, if you go through, and I think that we try to go through and do this, like we try to make these people that are in, quote unquote, following us involved or whatever, like make them feel like they are actually part of your situation, because there are people that 100% physically can't do anything, what we do, but they absolutely love listening, watching these videos, reading these stories and living through hunters, fishermen, whatever, to go through and do that. So I think that's a very positive thing. And the thing we keep going over and over all the time is to properly teach these youths how things should be done. You know, it's not about the 50,000 followers. You know, it's not about going through and trying to become rich and famous and everything, because I mean, anything nowadays, and we all know this, dude, it is so overwhelming with anything on social media of any kind. I mean, it's even for you to go through and be a remote drop in the bucket, dude. I mean, you're talking hundreds of thousands, dude. Shit, some of these people have like millions and millions of like followers and all this stuff. So, I mean, I'm not telling you not to follow a dream and go after whatever, but like the chances of you to actually go through and become something to where you go through and you walk down the street and you're like, oh my God, you're Chris Donovan, blah, 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 dude, is next to zero.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's about like getting drafted in the NFL
I
or MLB.
I was gonna say the
Yeah.
same thing, Levi.
Well, I mean,
100%.
even with that though, dude, I think it's probably harder. I mean, you're talking like some of these people, like I said, they're having millions and millions of followers and whatever of likes and stuff like this. You know, I mean, I don't know what the number is, but I mean, to me, there's probably a lot more people in the NFL, NBA, NHL, you know, whatever, than there are probably with these followers of like 2-3 million people. You know, I mean, it's an elite of an elite of an elite.
Yep.
So completely went off topic on what I was going to talk about with the positive stuff. But I think that more people should focus kind of like what we as a group are focusing on, and we call it like small town famous. Like if we can go through and give back to our community and get it to where people go through and they do enjoy what we're talking about because we relate to them, you know, I think that's one positive, great things, because then you can go through and you do meet new people, like you were saying, like Jesse was saying, through the internet. You know, it's might not have ever met them a day in your life, but you're like, holy shit, dude, you 3 dipshits are just like me and my 2 dipshits.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's a great, wonderful thing about it and everything, is to where if you focus on the right stuff, you can go through and gain, honestly, probably a lot of information, because even the old timers nowadays that going through, even their information is now getting put out on social media some way, shape, or form. Like completely blanking out on his name. Help me with the food plot guy, growing deer. Oh my God.
Grant Woods.
No, he's down in Southern Illinois.
Legend. That's a legend right there.
Well, he said growing deer. That's his show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Oh my God, you'll know exactly who I'm talking about. Southern Illinois. We just went through in Lewis. We went to go.
Oh, Don Higgins?
Yes, Don Higgins. Thank you. Oh my God.
legend.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So like even
Another
him, he's being, you know, I'm not saying forced, but he's doing a whole bunch of stuff about putting it out there, because it's almost like they have to, because these people are like, well, how am I going to go through and figure out this information? Blah, 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 blah.
And
Well, you
Don,
want to,
Don Higgins is the one that was talking about, that I heard talking about extreme June heat. Mm-hmm. That's the guy that I listened to that was talking about that is so crucial to
Right.
antler growth.
and like I said, it's almost sadly to say, I mean, he has to, you know, I mean, it for him to go through and I guess keep with the times, he absolutely has to, because if as they say, if you're not growing, you're dying.
Yeah.
But I think if you go, like, again, going back to, you go through and you follow the right people and you get the right information, dude, I think you as a hunter, outdoorsman person in general, you can just explode. You can just better yourself.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing too is like, instead of taking so much, social media is great, but learning yourself and going out and doing it yourself and figuring out, okay, I fucked up on this, I fucked up on that.
Yep.
Just and learn from that every time.
Yep.
You know, that's the thing. A lot of people go out there and they do shit wrong, but they don't learn from it. Every time you mess up, you've got to learn from that experience.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And that makes you such a better outdoorsman. So every time and it's like we just talked earlier, you learn every time you go out. Whether it's any time in the outdoors, fishing, hunting, whatever you're doing, you're always learning, and that never stops, because the sky's the limit. I mean, there's so many different situations that can happen, and you're always learning every time you go out, but you got to put that right here.
Oh, absolutely. And
Every time.
And I think something else too you need to go through, because I know that it's helped me immensely, is like surrounding yourself with like the right people.
100%.
Well, that's what I was
That's-
just. There's you have to take followers with a grain of salt because we each know the 5 of us sitting here each know 1 or 2 people that are out there that are some of the best deer hunters they know that could hunt circles around people with out there
Right.
with millions of followers.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's won't name names, but we also all know these people that it's like, dude, they kill big deer all the time, and you only reason you hear about it is because like you know this person.
Right.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
I've decided a couple years ago that I'm not posting any pictures that I kill on social media. I just if you're close enough to me through Snapchat or
Yep.
text you a
Then you
picture
know.
or whatever, then you know. But
Yep.
I'm the type, I don't need the recognition on people that I don't talk to, but
Right.
just on Facebook or once every blue moon. Hey, congratulations! I don't
Right.
need that anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm just not going to post anything.
Which from that, I mean, just coming and growing as a person in general, like you're saying, I don't need the high fives and slaps and the from strangers, which I think is a huge thing through social media, has brainwashed so many
Yeah.
people, especially our youth,
Oh yeah.
that it's, oh my God, I'm a complete failure. Well, why is that? Well, I posted this picture 3
got
minutes
4
ago.
likes.
Yeah, and I got
That's-
4 likes
Yeah.
and nobody likes it. And it's like, what do you mean? Like, we just left from this place over here and everybody said they absolutely loved it. Like, you don't remember? Like, we all sat there, dude, we praised you and it was amazing. And like in person, it was like, yeah, but it's not the same, which is, to me, it's something that's just awful.
That's like when I killed Double Drop a couple years ago, and Midwest Whitetails put it on. There's a lot of comments in there like, must be nice to be able to hunt a high fence deer. Wish I had the money to go hunt a fenced in deer, blah, blah, blah. Of course, I didn't comment back, but I'm like, yeah, not even close.
Well, and it's one of those things too.
Not even close.
I know we've talked about this before. Me and Levi have talked about this quite a bit. When people go through and this whole must be nice. You know what I'm saying? Fuck yes, it is.
Yeah.
Because I bust my ass to go through, get this done, dude. I'm calling in favors, dude. I'm spending money, dude. I'm knocking on doors, trying to make deals with people. Be like, hey, can I get this? Can I get this? Hey, dude, I can't do this right now. Can you help me out? You know what I mean? Even with our sponsors and stuff, it was, dude. I mean, it was cold calling, basically. Hey, I got some guys interested. This is some of the stuff we do. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah,
Yep.
we're out there doing our thing. It's not,
Sweating your ass off in August, trimming out, shooting lanes,
Yeah.
putting up stands, moving, getting attacked by mosquitoes. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, it is. When I shoot that deer, it is nice.
Yeah, absolutely it is.
100%. Thank
And
you.
it-
Yeah, it
and
must be nice. It is nice.
it is, especially with, I don't have kids, but you guys got little kids, all running around and stuff like this, trying to do work and be the best fucking dad you can be and go through and run and do all this. You know what? Yes, motherfucker. It is nice. It is awesome.
Yeah.
It is great. You know what? Maybe you should try it.
Yeah.
That's the part that just taking a breath, because that does, dude. It does. It works me up so bad because there are people that legitimately get out there and they bust their ass, literally squeezing, 56 hours out of 48.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It's somehow figuring that out. Like Brett with his job, going through and working, busting balls all this other time, so then he can go through and squeeze out 2-3 days to go turkey hunting or something like this, And like Chris, with your business, if you can go through and, hey man, if we can go through and bust ass, maybe we can scoot out real quick to go through
Yep.
and do this. You know what I mean? And you with your land properties, oh, it must be nice to have access to land and stuff. Dude, why are you mad at me? Because I worked and did this to go through and find these properties to go through and to better how it is for me.
Yeah.
And
You're not going to accomplish your dreams or get anything done sitting on the couch.
No.
no. And I mean, it's one of those things to where everybody knows it. Like with my job, dude, I'm an overtime whore. And it's ridiculous. But I do all that so then I can go through and buy the things that I want to help us as a group, to go through and help me as a person, to help my family and stuff like this. But at a certain time, when it's time to go hunting and stuff, dude, everybody knows, to put it very vague or very blunt and everything, you better leave me the fuck alone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I got shit to do.
Yeah.
Like I go through and I do this 9 months to go through and be gone for the rest of the time.
Yeah.
So like, no, oh, well, it must be nice. You're damn right it is.
Yeah.
But like you were saying, it wasn't nice sweating my ass off in the middle of August, setting up these, getting out there, spending my money.
Doing food plots,
Doing
dropping
food
thousands of dollars into seed and
Yeah.
this and that and chemical. It's like, Yeah.
Dude, Danielle will make fun of me all the time. And I know that I'm far behind the 8 ball with you guys when it comes to killing deer. So like I'll go through and won't see nothing, won't shoot nothing, this and that, and I'll go through and shoot a doe and whatever, and she'll always sit there and make the joke, and she'll look at me and she'll be like, hey, it's a great deer. I'm like, oh my God, such a sigh of relief. She's like, so how much did that thing cost me? Like, you know what? So because it's not the process and stuff, it's the, like you said,
Leading up to
equipment
it.
and all this and all that. It's like,
$4,000.
exactly $4,000
No big deal.
$4,000 102-pound doe. It's fine.
People
It's
always
fine.
want to talk about, buying meat at the grocery store and how expensive it is. Well, try deer hunting.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Jesus Christ.
So everybody's like, just go kill a bunch of deer, and then you ain't got to spend the money at the grocery store. Well,
Oh, yeah.
we know how that goes.
Yeah, exactly.
You might as well go to the grocery store.
Yeah.
yeah. Even going through and dropping $300, $400, $500 on meat.
Yeah.
You're still way ahead of the game.
Yeah. No, we don't pay no money for any meat because we kill all our own deer, but
Yeah.
it costs us $10,000 this year to do it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then everything's just going to keep going up because the economy is so great right now.
Oh, it's awesome.
But yeah, like I said, those must be nice people, dude. It used to not bug me, but now like getting into it, and like I said, getting with you guys and seeing like all the deep work and effort and stuff like this, being on the other side of, like I said, the camera lens for these professionals that go out and do all this stuff, and you know what I mean, dude. You can take that must be nice stuff, and dude, you can stick it right in your ass.
Yeah. Because I think they think, well, they just went out, shot a deer, shot a turkey. Like, well, that must be easy. Must be nice to do that. It's like you have no idea
Yeah, and
what it took to do that.
And it's also one of those like, dude, I wish it was.
Yeah.
Dude, I wish it was that easy. Dude, if I could wake up 3 days during turkey season and go kill 3 birds, dude, that would be incredible.
Yeah.
Or, just pull in the field across the street and go throw a stand up, bring your truck back, walk over there and hunt and shoot them 170.
Yeah, exactly.
No big deal.
Yeah,
That's what you do.
no big
Yeah.
deal. That's
Yeah.
just exactly how.
But if it was that easy, everybody'd do it.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, and that's a very true statement too. It's just like anything else. Oh, must be nice to own your own company and be able to make your own hours and make $175,000 to $250,000 a year. Must be nice. Yeah, well, if everybody could do it, why doesn't everybody?
Right.
Do it?
Yeah.
But to do that, you had to start somewhere to build that company.
Exactly.
So it's like, yeah, now that I have my own company, you don't know what I had to do to get to this point. Like I busted my ass.
Yeah. Oh, I'm cooling down. That does, dude. That just
It must be nice. AJ.
it did.
Must be nice.
You know what?
Here's the
It
deal.
is.
I'm going to have to jump out of this podcast because I got a T-ball game and I got to be there in 20 minutes.
Oh well, it must be nice just to leave whenever you want.
I do have to jump out. I got to roll. I got to be there in 20 minutes. So thank you all. Jesse, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Good time.
We'll make sure everything's all buttoned up when we leave.
Yeah, you guys are good. I 100% trust you. Just don't drink none of my beer.
Oh, so we went over the negatives. We went over the positives. I mean, it truly does feel to me like it's a double-edged sword.
Oh, yeah.
Big time.
It really, really does. It can go through and be the best thing since sliced bread, but at the same time, it can shut you down real quick.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you see all the negative stuff on there, but then, you scroll through too and you see, something that melts your heart, a kid with Down syndrome or something shooting his first deer.
Oh, yeah.
Something like that, the positives or the entertainment factor, we've talked about on some things, that just makes you laugh because you might have been having a rough day and you see something funny and share it with your buddies and you all have a laugh, there's positives there, but, it's finding them.
Which I think that's talking about the fun or the positives on the funny side. I think that's great when people go through and they can, at their not so much at the expense of others, but kind of like the expense of themselves. They can go through and they're good enough to poke fun at themselves and make fun of, the hunting industry as a whole and all that stuff like that reel or whatever I said that you sent me, and it was two suburban, quote unquote suburban hunters,
Yeah.
and all this and that, and one goes through. And he's like, "Hey, Trevor, what's going on?" And I can't remember what he goes on. He's like, "Nothing, but I got a great idea. We're going to go sit in the middle of
Central Park.
Central Park, and we're going to go through and kill like 160s and all this." And they're going through and they talk about like, "Yeah, I'm going to go through and buy this brand new bow and spend if it's not at least $3,000, we're not even going to look at it." and they're going through, and then what does it say? And he's like, yeah, we're going to sit out there. He's like, great, how are you going to set this up? Who's going to, is it going to be me and you or what? And he's like, yeah, me and you absolutely together with 10,000 people out there in Central Park, and we're going to kill 160 in front of everybody, and it's going to be great. And he's pretending to jack each other. Oh yeah, it's great, great, great. And then they're like, well, what if that doesn't happen? And the dude's like, well, my stepdad, he goes through and he owns a high fence across the street. We'll just go through and shoot a deer there. It's just, I love when they can go through and spoof on themselves, just the outdoor industry as a whole, because I know me, by no means, I'm not going to say that it's dead serious all the time with anything that you go through and read that. I mean, shit, dudes, we're going to have fucking Chris in a fucking tattoo or a tattoo tutu up in a deer stand. You know what I mean?
A tattoo too.
No, we should get him all boozed up.
Get a tattoo of a tutu.
A tutu, yeah, on his arm as he's sitting there.
Yeah.
Dude, we can easily hold him.
Instead of barbed wire, we'll do tutu around.
Yeah,
his bicep.
we can hold him down. We could do that
Oh,
for
yeah.
sure. Yeah, I think that'd be a great idea.
But that's like, back to like having fun with we all have Snapchat, we have that group.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how many times do I send just stupid ass Snapchats to you guys
dude.
of me in the tree stand? I mean, I'm
All
sure you guys,
day, every
I know.
day.
I'm sure you guys get like, does this guy even hunt? Do he even take his bow with him? Like, is he just out here posting pictures being stupid? But I mean, I think that's a positive way because it's just like fun. Like, okay, you can't be dead ass serious the entire time, or else
You get burned out.
it takes the joy out of it.
Yeah.
Oh, it 100% does, because I don't know if you guys get that way, but I know I messaged you last year, like, dude, grinding out towards the end. Dude, I was like, dude, piss on this, dude. I've been trying this for this long. I can go through and spend my time doing this and this instead. I could be at work making money, instead of this and that. And Levi just flat out said, dude, no, you're not. Like, I don't care what you're saying. You're not quitting. I mean, I don't know why you're even saying this. It's not happening.
Yeah.
Basically go ahead and cry out, little baby. But
It's like we've all been there.
yeah.
It's like we've been there, and next set you can go out and be in the tree 5 minutes, and you've got one on the ground.
Absolutely.
So it can change in a heartbeat.
Yep.
So, okay. Well, now that Chris left, I feel kind of weird, so maybe we should close this out. So, anything else anybody wants to add at all? No? Bueller? Okay. All right. Well, so everybody, make sure you go through and listen to our past podcasts and everything. We feel that it is nothing but a plethora of knowledge and entertainment, so make sure you go listen to those. If you go through and see or go follow our sponsors and everything, let them know that you found them through us. We greatly appreciate that and everything. If there's anything you guys want us to talk about by chance, let us know. We'd be more than happy to talk about that, give our 2 cents, because our 2 cents mean the most. And then, as we talked about earlier, if you guys are interested or think it's a good idea for us to go out, I mean, I know we go to a park or something like this. We would love to go through and, give our 2 cents and help youth or just people in general wanting to get into the outdoors, have basic questions and stuff. We would be more than happy to do that. But, let us know if that's something you'd be interested in, because we don't want to waste your time and we don't want to waste our time. So with all of that being said, we appreciate you so much for listening, and we will catch you on the next one.